Today, we're going to start with kind of an intro to meditation for those of you who are new. Maybe you've never tried it before, and you're like, hey, it's cool you're doing topics, but I would like to start at the beginning. We'll start at the beginning and we'll do a very short breathing meditation to kind of get everyone's feet wet a little bit with how we meditate, how does it work, all that fun stuff. And then we're going to get into our topic for today. And our topic for today is all about sleep. Somebody, I can't remember who it was somebody last week was asking about using meditation to help with sleep issues. And this is a very common use case for meditation. I thought this would be a good opportunity to go over this class again. Cool? Hey, Rosa. Hey, Janelle. How's it going? I'm glad you're doing better, Rosa. Okay, so if you are new, I do encourage you to ask questions. How can you ask a question? Well, the best way is to type in the old chat box there, as some people have. If you do not want to do that, or not comfortable doing that, or you think of a question after the live stream's over, that always happens. You should feel free to email me. I will give you my email, and you can email me at any time. As long as I'm awake, I will do my best to respond in a timely manner. All right? Cool. So, hey, Annabelle. All right, so I think I covered everything there. All right, so let's get started by just kind of reviewing what meditation is. So if you are brand new to meditation, I'm going to take a guess and say you're here to kind of relax, de-stress. Right. This is the main entry point into meditation. It is what meditation is most known for, associated with whatever, and for good reason. It is quite good at doing that. But in my experience, sometimes the way that meditation is presented, it's not always clear why it's relaxing you. Why it's good at relaxation, what's happening there. And I think that's a really important aspect of it, to kind of understand what's going on, right? So meditation is really a technique of familiarizing your mind with something you want to become familiar with. So let's think about something you're super familiar with, right? I always use tying my shoes, so I'm going to use a different example. What about clapping? This is a weird one. I'm just going to go with it. Clapping, right? Now, if you're like, hey, do a clap, Keith, I'll be like, okay. That was pretty good, right? I can do it soft. I can do it loud. I can do both hands, right? Clapping is not very difficult for me. I can do it pretty effortlessly, I would say. Now, I am sure my mother has an old home video of me trying to do my first claps, and it did not really look so great, right? I'm like missing my hands. I don't have a lot of control over the volume of it. The mechanics of clapping were difficult at first. Everything about clapping was a little bit kind of wonky when I first started doing it. Right? We've all been there. So what happened in between then, when clapping was not that easy, to now, when it's very easy, right? Practice, right? Familiarity. Just over time, by doing a lot of clapping, in the movies or the plane lands or all this stuff, we've become pretty adept at the mechanics, both physical and mental, of clapping. And as a result, clapping starts to become very natural to us, right? It's easier for us to do it, right? So the same is true with all things that you have done in your life. Think about, like walking even, right? When you're a kid, not easy. Now we don't have to think about it. It comes very natural to us. So familiarization is everywhere in our lives, in all the things that we do. And the same is true in terms of familiarization with mental states. So feelings, emotions, like a calmness, relaxed mind, right? So this is really what meditation is doing. It's not pulling relaxation from the air. It's teaching you to kind of become really familiar with the relaxed version of yourself. You have one of those. We all have one of those, and we would like it to surface more regularly and without any effort. Right? That sounds great. It's in there, right? And sometimes it's hard to find, but it's always in there, right? And so meditation is all about teaching you to start to make a choice. What do you want to become familiar with? Do you really want to become so familiar with your relaxed self that it starts to show up as easy as clapping, as easy as tying your shoe, as easy and effortless as walking, right? Hey, Jacqueline. So this is kind of a one step deeper about what's going on with meditation. And it doesn't have to stop at relaxation. We can become familiar with anything we want, for better or for worse, right? So if we think about getting angry, we get annoyed, right, at somebody. Now that is something, at least for me, I don't have to try very hard, right? It's not like somebody says something to you that you don't like, and then you're like, hey, hold on a second, I got to try to get mad about that. Oh, it just happens. Boom, like that. What about patience? Takes effort, right? We've just had more practice getting annoyed than being patient. Right? So our mind is very used to getting annoyed. And so when something happens, our mind's like, I'll take it from here. I know what to do. I'm getting annoyed. Right? So we're going to start to use meditation to make choices about what you want your mind to be super good at. Because there's no reason why we can't shift the scales in one way or the other. All right? Cool. Oh, hey, Emily. That's my wife, Emily. She's in Texas on a work trip. I've been home alone for quite some time. Okay, so in order to kind of get used to using meditation, we first have to use it to clear out a lot of the clutter in our mind, right? And by clutter, I mean all of the stress, the worries, the thoughts, oh, I got to do this and that, all of the things that are pulling for our attention all day long. These things are sort of like raindrops falling on the surface of a lake, right? The surface of a lake normally very calm, very still. You can see reflection very easily. When the rain starts to come, that reflection starts to get a little less clear. It's still there, it's just harder to find, right? It's harder to see, it's less clear. Right? So your mind is the same way. Your mind normally is very calm, peaceful, calm, cool, collective, thinking reasonably about your problems, objectively about things, and all of the worries and stress, anxiety, the things that are kind of clamoring for your attention all day long, these are like raindrops. And just like the raindrops make the reflection a little harder to find, these stressful thoughts, these kind of negative mind states, make it harder for you to find that relaxed self. But it's still in there. It's always there. We just got to go get it. And the more we go get it, the easier it's going to be for us to find it, right? It's like if we put our keys in the same place. Yeah, they're always there until they're not. Okay? So the way we're going to do this, to start to use meditation to relax our busy mind a little bit, is with something called single-pointed concentration. Sounds fancy, not that fancy. It just means focusing on one thing. So not multitasking. Now, we are very familiar with multitasking. We're phenomenal at multitasking. We are always multitasking. Even right now, I'm talking, I'm fixing my mic, right? I had like an itch, so I adjusted. Like all these different things are happening so quickly. Boom, 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 boom in my mind. We're really familiar with that. But focusing on one thing, only one thing exclusively, takes some effort, right? So single-pointed concentration is going to kind of translate into us. We're going to use our breath in this example. Breathing meditation. You've probably heard of it. We're going to focus so exclusively on our breath that there's not going to be any room in our mind for other stuff, right? So if you ever think about, if you've ever been in the zone or like a flow state or something like that, working on a project, right? You lose track of time, you forget to eat lunch, noises of your home or office, it's kind of like they're gone. You're so single-pointedly invested in something, focused on something, that all the other things seem to kind of fade a little bit, right? It's an interesting kind of phenomenon that happens. And so we are going to kind of use this technique of concentration to relax our mind. Normally when we think about concentration, it doesn't translate into relaxation. But if we're really single-pointedly focused on something, there's no room for all the worries, right? Leaf on a stream, Janelle. I love it. I love it. Okay, so we're going to do a little breathing meditation now. Instructionally, very straightforward. I will guide us. Don't worry, it's not going to be silent and you're like, what am I doing? I'm going to kind of guide us through this. But essentially, we're going to choose to focus on our breath exclusively. And whenever you notice that your attention's drifting and you're thinking about what you got to do for work tomorrow or something that happened earlier that annoyed you, we're just going to be like, not right now. And we're going to purposefully bring our attention back to our breath. That's it. That's the practice, right? We're training our mind to focus on one thing. We're choosing, mind, you're going to focus on this. And then when we notice that it's going this way, we're going to be like, hey, not right now. We'll get to those things later. Bring our attention back. We're training our mind to focus on what we want to focus on, not what it wants to focus on, right? Cool. Okay, so first things first, get comfy, all right? It does not matter if you're sitting on the floor or a cushion or a cross-legged or on a chair or laying down. It doesn't matter, really. As long as you're relatively comfortable in your current seating arrangement, perfect. You're not going to change anything, right? Okay, and you can go ahead and close your eyes, and I'm going to guide us through probably about 5 minutes, about a 5-minute breathing meditation to just get everyone used to meditating and relax a little bit. All right. Whenever you start a meditation, always just take a moment and check in. Ask yourself, how am I feeling right now, in this exact moment? Happy, sad, tired, filled with energy, whatever it is, doesn't matter. We're just noticing, just practicing, paying attention to how we're feeling moment to moment. This is also called mindfulness, an active awareness of your own thoughts so you can respond skillfully to those thoughts. So just take a moment and check in. And having done that, you can now turn your full attention to your breath. Make a choice. Choose to focus single-pointedly on breathing in and out, gently, naturally. You do not need to take big, deep breaths. You do not need to forcefully exhale the air. Just breathe as you normally would, in and out. And give yourself permission to relax a little bit into your chair. Single-pointedly focused on each moment of your breath. Following the air as it enters your nose. And then following the air as it exits. Totally plugged into your breath for this moment, this moment, this moment. At some point, maybe you notice you're getting a little distracted. Your mind wants to move elsewhere. Maybe you're thinking about something you have to do later after this class, or something that happened earlier in the day. Whenever you notice that this has happened, no problem. We can just say not right now to those thoughts. We'll get to them later. And then intentionally guide your focus back to breathing. Breathing in and out. Gently, naturally, as you begin to relax a little bit more. Following each moment of your breath, following the air to the best of your ability as it moves in and out. Keep bringing your attention back to your breath whenever you notice that it has drifted. This process of choosing to focus single-pointedly on your breath, noticing when your attention drifts, and being able to guide your attention back to breathing, that is meditation. You right now are practicing meditation. You are training your mind to be calm, to get in touch with its natural, peaceful state. You're training your mind to focus on what you want to focus on. How wonderful. So just for the next couple of moments, continue to breathe in and out gently, naturally, and just enjoy being here right now. You have nothing else to do, nowhere else to be, just here, breathing in and out, gently and naturally. Okay, when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Hello, welcome back. How'd it go? Right. So if this is your first time, probably one of two things happened. You're like, oh, that wasn't that bad. Or you're like, wow, that was difficult. If you are kind of following along the lines of, wow, that was difficult, you're in good company, because everyone goes through that, right? This is new. Anytime we do something new that we're not familiar with, right? There's that word. It takes a little time, right, to get ourselves accustomed to doing this. And furthermore, with this in particular, our mind sometimes puts up a little resistance, right? We can't blame our mind, because our mind just does what it's used to doing, right? Now, your mind is not used to doing this. Your mind is used to doing whatever the heck it wants all day long, right? You're working on something, and then all of a sudden your mind's like, oh, yeah. Hey, worry about that thing coming up later. And you're like, no, I don't want to. But there we go. Okay, I'm going to worry about this. So our mind is used to kind of being in charge, right? Doing whatever it wants. And so when we start to say, no, you're going to do this, you're only going to think about one thing, our mind's like, no, I don't do that. So it's just going to take a little time to normalize this, right? And this is why, out of all the things that, if you take away nothing from today, please take away that the best way to see the benefits of meditation is with small, consistent sessions. Do not meditate for an hour. Don't do it, because you're going to get burnt out, right? 2 minutes a day, 1 minute a day, 30 seconds, doesn't matter. As long as it's consistent, that is what's going to really start to move you along for this to become easier, because your mind is going to get used to doing this. Oh, you want to meditate? Okay, yeah, I know what to do. That was your mind speaking. Cool. Alex went well. Good. I'm glad. Jody almost fell asleep. Hey, that's very common. All right. So when we're meditating, the goal isn't to go asleep unless it is. And kind of ironically, that's kind of our topic today, right? But a lot of the times we're using meditation as kind of like an active learning thing. But if you fall asleep, it's not that bad, right? You're getting a couple of winks. Your your mind is mentally exhausted. So sometimes when we give it permission to relax, that's what it does. It rests. Cool. Mary, mind drifted a lot. Tried to stay relaxed. Yeah. And I'm glad you brought that up. I get it. We all want to be awesome at this right out the gate. But the goal of meditation is not to never get distracted. All right? I've been meditating a very long time, still get distracted. The goal is to become very adept at noticing when you're distracted and being like, oh, and then bring your attention back. Right? So don't get mad at yourself if you're finding yourself drifting off a little bit, right? This is the practice. This is the training. Cool? All right. Awesome. Janelle, thank you, brain, for the other thought, but focus on your breath. Exactly. Yeah, I like that. You're like thanking your brain. There's a little bit of kind of like gratitude there, like, hey, thanks for doing your job and thinking of all these cool things. But right now, we're going to focus on our breath. I love that, Janelle. Amazing. Cool. So if you have any other questions about breathing meditation or just kind of meditation in general, you can continue to ask me at any time. But I'm going to move on to our topic for today, and that is all about using meditation in parallel with trying to go to sleep. Right? So you guys don't have any sleep problems, I imagine. Right? When you want to go to sleep, what happens? You lay down, boom, instantaneously asleep. You're never thinking about anything for hours on end, staring at the ceiling. Cheryl, you use meditation for your sleep disorder. That's amazing. I too have a sleep disorder. It is the opposite of what we'll be talking about today. I have kind of like a narcolepsy thing. But yeah, meditation is really good for sleep issues. And we'll kind of talk a little bit about why, and then we're going to do one that I think is really good for that. But like I was saying, we all experience this, right? We're laying down and we're like, hey, body, mind, it's bedtime. And our body and our mind are like, no. Right? And we get really frustrated and it's annoying, and then we don't get restful sleep, and then we're kind of kind of groggy the next day and like on edge, right? Jody, you have type 1 narcolepsy. Oh, that's rough. That's even worse than mine. Yeah, I feel your pain. It's tough out there for that stuff. It's kind of a new thing for me, so I'm just kind of learning how to navigate it a little bit. Yeah. Okay, so there's a lot of reasons why our mind might be busy when we're trying to go to sleep. We're worrying about something that's coming up tomorrow, or we can't stop thinking about something that happened earlier. But ultimately, our mind is busy at night because it's just used to being busy, right? Our mind is just used to thinking all the time. Your mind is always thinking. And left without much guidance, our mind thinks about a lot of things very rapidly. This, that, think about that, worry about this. It's pulling in different directions, right? And so, then, we let our mind do that for so much of our life. And then whenever we go to sleep, we're like, oh yeah, don't do that. And then, our mind doesn't know any better. It's just doing what it knows. So part of using meditation as a way to kind of help promote restful sleep really is just practicing meditation. Because just like we did with our breathing meditation, what are we doing? We are training our mind to focus on one thing, to kind of obey our commands instead of just doing whatever it wants. And that is going to translate into us being able to kind of instruct our mind to relax a little bit, right? And we're going to go over a couple of techniques to help do that, right? But part of this is just getting used to training our mind to do what we want it to do. Right? Maybe we want it to relax. Maybe we want it to focus on this project. Maybe we want it to think about this problem that we're having. Maybe we want it to go to sleep. Right? So the mind gets busy at night because that is what has become normal. Right? And this is the exact same reason as why meditation can be difficult when we just first starting, right? Our mind is used to boop, 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 boop. That's our mind doing all these different thoughts, right? And so when we're like, hey, focus on your breath, our mind's like, oh, I don't know, this is kind of weird and hard. And it's the same thing when we're trying to single-pointedly focus on go to sleep, right? So what types of things are we thinking about usually when we're having trouble sleeping? Work the next day, maybe? It's a big one, right? Maybe some regrets of things that happened in the past, or even just the day, or things we wish went differently, right? Generally, when we're having trouble sleeping, our mind is in one of two places: the past or the future, right? Right? Relationships, great one, right? So relationships is a great one. Sometimes we're thinking like, oh, yeah, like I shouldn't have said this to them, or this and that. Past, right? Bills, good one. I got so many bills coming up. How am I going to pay for this? Future. Boom. There you go. Right? Something someone said. Past. This is a fun game. So, your mind is almost, exams. There's a good one. Same thing. Future. How am I going to do on this test? Future, right? So our mind is almost always in the past or the future, right? Almost always, right? Even just thinking about what I said right now is in the past at that moment, right? And so when we are sleeping, when we're trying to go to sleep, right, our mind, again, is doing what it's used to, and it's drifting into the past or the future, when really what we need it to do is to be present, right? When we're really fully in the present moment, we kind of relax a little bit. Our mind is less busy naturally in the present moment, right? So you can kind of say that when we're trying to sleep and we're having some trouble, our body is in the present moment, but our mind is not, right? And so we got to link those up. We gotta get them to connect a little bit, right? And some of that comes from calming our body a little bit too. So maybe we have some chronic pain. This meditation we're going to do, I also do for chronic pain. Those things might annoy us when we're trying to sleep. I have tinnitus. Sometimes that bothers me when I'm trying to sleep. But these things, while they are physical ailments, right? The true problem that they bring in terms of trying to get to sleep comes from our mind, right? Because our mind gets annoyed at this thing, and our mind is fixating on this thing, right? When is this feeling going to go away? Why does my knee hurt so much? I'm not going to be able to go to sleep. I can't focus on anything but the sound ringing in my ear, right? Our mind gets very annoyed at our body, right? From some of the kind of things that are going on with us, right? So generally, our kind of body restlessness agitates our mind, and our agitated mind is what makes us not go to sleep, right? So whatever the reason is for you being busy when you're trying to go to sleep, we're going to go to the root, and that is up here, your mind. Right. And so what we're going to do together is something called a body scan meditation. Again, this is a pretty common one. You've probably heard of it. It's become more popular. I like to put a little spin on it, right? So essentially what we're going to do is we're going to calm our mind a little bit by focusing single pointedly on each aspect of our body. And look, I'm not going over every aspect of our body. We'll be here for 8 hours, right? I'm going to skip around a little bit. But I'll try to hit the major ones, right? We're basically, instead of being single-pointedly focused on our breath, we're going to be single-pointedly focused on this particular part of our body and kind of allow it to relax, right? And then, like I said, I add a little something else into the body scans that I teach. And I think this is I feel this is important. And what I kind of add in is a little bit of gratitude towards our body, right? Because like I was saying before, we get very annoyed at our body and our mind when it's not doing what we want it to do, right? Is the same as the Vipassana body scan. This one I teach is a little more generic than that, but they're all kind of similar, right? So we get angry at our body and our mind a lot, right? We don't have a lot of tolerance for some of the pains that we have, right? And usually it translates into, my body's so messed up, right? Somebody was saying about narcolepsy. I say this to myself all the time, like, my brain's all messed up. I get so annoyed at it, right? And so when we're doing a body scan, not only is it important to kind of relax these aspects of our body to try to help us relax in general, but I also think it's really important to kind of thank our body for all it's gone through, right? Your legs have a pretty tough job. I don't know if you've ever thought about this, but your legs don't have a great job, right? Your legs' job is to hold you up all day. That's exhausting, And so, then we get a pain in our knee. We're like, hey, what the heck is this? Like, no, legs are holding up your body all day, So not only are we going to relax our body, but we're going to thank our body for all that it's done for us. And this is going to kind of not only translate into us relaxing, but also into us developing some compassion for ourselves. We're going to get less annoyed at our body and mind if it's giving us trouble sleeping, which is really important, right? Okay. Sound good? You ready to do body scan? And then you can go to sleep. Unless it's the morning, like maybe you're in Australia or something. Okay, so we're going to start pretty similar to what we did before. We'll just do a little bit of breathing meditation just to kind of settle back in. Carol, you adjust your attitude towards your body. Yes, exactly. Right? Because I don't know about you, but me, I get annoyed really when I can't sleep. I'm like, oh, why is this always happening to me? I'm like annoyed. Like my mind's, what's going on with my mind? Right? It's always bouncing all over the place. Right? We're getting mad at ourselves. Okay. So we're going to start by just relaxing a little bit with breathing meditation. And then I'm going to kind of transition that into a body scan. You just kind of follow along and relax. All right. Cool. All right. Make sure you're nice and comfy. Now, if, like I said before, this does not need to be used to go to sleep. Some people just love doing this to relax. Very good for chronic pain. But I don't know, maybe you're laying in bed, you're ready to go to sleep. You can go lay down and do this and fall right asleep. That's fine. I'll try to be quiet when it's over so you can stay asleep. So you can lay down if you like. You can sit up in a chair. It doesn't matter. Again, whatever feels best for you in this exact moment. All right. And go ahead and close your eyes. And we're going to do a body scan meditation together. Okay. Once again, just take a moment. Check in. How are you feeling now? In this moment? No need to compare it to before. No need to compare it to anything. Just noticing right now. How are you feeling? And having done that, you can once again, just briefly, turn your attention to your breath. Breathing in and out gently and naturally as you begin to relax a little bit into your chair, cushion, or mattress. Breathing in and out. Keeping your attention on each moment of each breath. And if your mind wants to drift, we can just let our mind know we'll do that later. But right now, we're focusing on breathing. Anytime you drift, just guide your attention back. Breathing in and out. Gently, naturally. As you begin to relax even more. Sometimes, if we're having trouble sleeping, maybe we're having a chronic pain, it can be helpful to do what is known as a full body meditation. We're going to use the same concept of meditation, single pointed concentration. We're going to use that to focus and relax each part of your body. So to start, I'd like you to turn your full attention to the area around your eyes, just the general area of your eyes. What does that area of your body feel like right now? Are your eyelids heavy? And we can think about all the stress that our eyes have to endure each day, and all the wonderful benefits that we get from our eyes being able to see the beauty of the world each and every day. So much amazing experiences, all provided by our eyes. And so we can thank our eyes for all that they've done. And we can give them permission to relax. We can imagine that that area of our body is fading away. And then bring your attention to your nose. What does your nose feel like right now? Our nose provides so many benefits for us. Wonderful aromas, the smell of fresh air, a crisp wind. So many wonderful experiences given to us by our nose. We can thank our nose for all that it has done for us today and every day. And we can give our nose permission to relax. We can imagine that area of our body fading away. And we can turn our attention to our lips, our mouth. What do your lips feel like right now when you focus on them? Our mouth, our lips help with the gift of communication, our voice, our way to express ourselves. Such amazing, wonderful things that our mouth, lips, our jaw can do. We can thank our lips, our mouth, and allow them to fade away and relax. Your shoulders. What do your shoulders feel like right now? Are they tense? Are you shrugging? Shoulders hold so much stress. Let's give our shoulders permission to relax. You can imagine our shoulders fading away, totally relaxed. Our arms. Allow us to craft amazing things, accomplish amazing things with the dexterity of our hands. We can thank our arms, our hands, for all that they've done for us. And give them permission to relax. We can imagine them fading away. Your chest, your stomach, areas of your vital organs. An amazing, intricate system designed for you to be able to thrive, nourish yourself day to day. Our stomach goes through so much each day, turning our food into energy. We can thank our stomach, our chest, our whole torso for all that it has done for us. And we can give it permission to relax. Can imagine it fading away. Your legs, your knees, your feet. Such a hard job supporting our body each and every day, moving, allowing us to go see places, to experience different areas of the world, taking constant abuse of pounding our feet on the floor as we walk or run. Such an amazing sacrifice our legs and feet make for us each and every day. We can thank our legs, our knees, our feet. Give them permission to relax. They've earned it. Allow them to fade away into relaxation. And then with every aspect of your body relaxed, faded into relaxation, we can finally thank our mind. Our mind is at the core of all the things we do and learn and love. Without it, we could not experience a single thing. Our mind has a hard job thinking about many things all day long. Let's give it permission to relax. You can imagine every aspect of you, body and mind, fading away. And then just sit there and relax. Okay. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. You're still awake. How are we feeling? Good? So that one's a little longer than I normally like to do, but there's a lot of parts of your body, and you notice I skipped some. So you have to kind of keep it here all day. But when you're doing this on your own, if there's an area of your body that is really kind of problematic for you, you can also just kind of really focus on that, give that extra special attention. But this particular meditation, I think, is really good, not only just for kind of relaxing your body, right? But there's something about it that like forces your mind to be really present with how your whole body is feeling in this moment. And that's exactly where we want to be when we're trying to go to sleep. Because if our mind is, 10 years down the line thinking about all these other things, there's a disconnect between body presence and mind presence. But this meditation kind of connects them pretty well. And then too, we're thanking ourselves. We're thanking our body for all of the abuse that we put it through every day, right? And so maybe the next time that your knee is hurting when you're trying to go to sleep or something like that, maybe you're gonna have a little more compassion for your knee hurting, for all it's done for you, right? Cool. Carol, for each part, I thanked and said, "Good job." That's what I say when my dog, when he goes outside, and that's awesome. That's awesome. That's exactly what we're trying to do, right? And look, like, it doesn't. You can say whatever you want to yourself, but yeah, you're acknowledging the hard efforts of your body, right? You're making a connection that, hey, my body suffers a lot throughout the day for me, so I can do the things I love to do. I'm gonna cut it some slack if it's having some problems now and then, right? Cool. Rosa, deep relaxation, great. Gail sank into relaxation. I love it. So that's it for today. We cannot come back from this very sleepy meditation. Everyone's ready for bed. But I encourage you to try this one on your own if you're having trouble sleeping, if you're having chronic pain, or honestly, if you just kind of liked it, even just doing it. Sometimes this is cool to do in the morning too, right? Right when you wake up in the morning, before you get up and start punishing your body, physically, just like do this little kind of relaxation thank things. You can even thank it for what it's going to go throughout the day. Really cool, right? Jody, your knee hurts. I'm sorry to hear that, right? But again, so this is a great exercise in acknowledging that your knee hurts and kind of cutting yourself some slack because of it, right? Instead of getting mad at yourself that this is happening, right? Just acknowledging that your knee has gone through a lot to support you throughout your life, right? Cool. Okay, if you had a good time, great. Come back next week. Every Wednesday we do this, unless I have some sort of thing I need to go to. But I don't know what next week's class will be like. That's kind of how I roll. But it'll be something about meditating. You could always expect that. So come on back if you had a good experience, and we'll talk about something else, meditation wise. And then also, if you want to, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's a huge help for me. It kind of makes my videos visible, and the things I don't understand about how Google works, it seems to do good things there. And you'll get notifications whenever I'm going live. You can watch all my old videos. So if you feel comfortable doing so, I'd really appreciate that, subscribing to the Meditation Breaks YouTube channel. And if you're like, hey, I'm into this is cool, I want to take this step further, I do one-on-one classes. That's kind of my main thing. I also do group classes, so maybe you want to bring me into work virtually. That's cool too. But if you want to do anything one-on-one, it's all virtual. I do it over Zoom. It's very casual and laid back. A number of people who have been chatting here I work with pretty regularly, and we just have some fun learning about meditation together, and it's a really relaxed environment. So if that's something that's interesting to you, you can just email me, and we'll find a time and date that is appropriate. I'm going to put my email in the chat right now, and I'll also say it in case you're not looking at the chat. It is keith@meditationbreaks.com. And now I will type. I'm getting good at typing this. Less mistakes. Cool. So email me anything, and if you have any questions about, hey, I've been trying to do the body scan thing, but I don't know if I'm doing this right, just email me. Don't ever feel shy about doing that. Love chatting. Okay. Thank you to everyone for being here. Annabelle, thank you very much. Have a blessed evening. You too. Thank you so much for being here. Rosa, Alex, Ruthie, Jacqueline, Mary, Patricia, thank you. I'm glad you guys all had good experiences. And I love teaching, and I couldn't do it without you guys. Y'all are the best. So thank you for taking time into your day to be here. Go get some good sleep, all right? And I'll see you guys next week. Take care.